Hey guys, right, so last update on the Beastie before we get it in the air for this big speed run. I've done a couple of test runs with it. First one didn't go so well, that's in the top right hand corner. So I launched it with a little bit of, not a little bit actually, a full trim with the torque roll, which ended up me launching it and it rolled over and I couldn't get it to roll back and it ended up just crashing, so that was a bit of a shame. But no dramas, didn't really do any damage, just a couple of bits of wrinkling and the Coro was split, so we just repaired that and then that was it sorted. And then next day, launched it again, too tail heavy, which I think was another one of the issues that I didn't realise on the first day. So it was too tail heavy and yeah, it was kind of like farting about in the air. Flew it around for a little bit and then landed it, but actually ended up like pulling the wingtip off and it like ripped it a little bit and stuff like that, so that was a bit of a shame. But again, no problems, just kind of like cleared the loose stuff off and then threw it into the air again and managed to get a couple of test runs in. So on 6S it was doing 133 miles per hour, which is great. Pretty damn fast for a 6S Drak if you ask me. And yeah, it was pretty impressive. Say we done some testing using the pan camera by looking out over the wing and actually looking to see if there was any flutter and where that was coming from. And yeah, here we've got a little video coming up on the top right hand side of where that flutter was and what was happening. So at 60 miles per hour, you know, you had no issues there. You can see the wing was obviously staying nice and flat, but then you had the issue where whenever you were getting like over 100 mile an hour, which was probably about 125 in this case, it was actually flapping, but it wasn't sort of like fluttering in the usual sense, or at least how I would have imagined that it would happen. It was only fluttering down the way. So I kind of like came back from that, had a look at the actual Drak airframe and realised, of course, you know, if it's not damped on the top end, on the top side of the wing, and it's only attached on those you know, the big battery straps on the bottom, yeah, of course it's just going to be able to flap. So I've addressed that now by using these 3D prints. So we've got the 3D printed dog bones in there. That's an Aaron Corney / Icarus FPV design from Thingiverse. So thanks very much for that, mate. I just basically done a remix of those, just get it flown in with the wing and made them a little bit thicker. And yeah, popped those in, and now we've got a nice rigid airframe, which is great. So of course the only issue was with that, whenever you fixed it to the fuselage, whenever you pushed it down, it was then actually pulling the battery bay apart. So you don't want that to happen. If the battery bay is being pulled apart as you're flying, you've got risk of air, you know, getting trapped underneath the Coro and then actually then pushing all the innards up out of the way, which is what you don't want. So yeah, to combat that, just nice and simple, some packing tape across the inside so you can squeeze it and you can see how much it moves, of course, but no issues with that because whenever the batteries are inside it won't be able to squeeze. It also acts as a little battery support, so if you do crash, it will try and contain them in there, which is nice. So packing tape's obviously very rigid, very lightweight. We've got it taped across the way, up over here, and also on the inside, just to try and keep it all you know, mostly stiff. It doesn't have to be, you know, it doesn't have to cope with a crash, let's say, but as long as it kind of holds it steady in the air, that's what we need, and that's exactly what it's going to do. So no outward movement, which is good, and that's pretty much it. So I've got the decision to make now of whether I recover it again or if I just fly it the way it is. I'm sort of edging on just fly it the way it is because I'm lazy with stuff like this, but the most important thing is the speed run, so we'll just be popping the other motor onto the back of the Drak again and then getting all CG'd up with the 12S packs in, and then absolutely go for it. So 4th of April, that is going to be the day for it, so make or break, whether it crashes or whether it survives, there will be a video, and hopefully it will be the survival and it will reach 200 miles an hour. I'm kind of confident. I mean, I think it's definitely got the power for it. It's got the power available. It's just whether or not the airframe is going to be able to cope with going north of 200, but let's see. I'm really excited about it, and I hope you guys are as well. Just let me know what you think. Cheers.